Hello, everybody. We are back with another stream that I didn't think was going to happen. That's why I'm kind of over an hour late because something was wrong with my laptop. But I hope everybody's doing well today. Like I said, I would have been streamed like at least for the past hour or whatever. Okay, so mic sounds good, sounds cool enough. Um, but yeah, I thought I was like sitting there like worried, like, it's my, originally I thought it was like, well, maybe it's my, maybe it's Streamlabs, maybe it's my laptop, and it definitely sounds like it's my laptop. But I could definitely say I do need a new laptop. Um, because technically this one was the backup laptop that I've been using for a good while. But anyway, breaking news for the past 2-3 hours, right? We're going to be diving into um, the promotion, or second promotion, should I say, of Mr. Filoni, Dave Filoni, who originally got promoted to executive creative officer, if I remember correctly, back in 2021. And we're going to dive into this new, uh, like I said, breaking news promotion, because he had an interview with some folks today, and it pretty much got pushed out today that he, confirmed his promotion. And what that will look like for Star Wars content, I would say at least definitely for the rest of this decade. We definitely are, for many of us who are Filoni fans, we are definitely excited for him. Definitely a congratulatory towards him, um, because this is a big move, big step, um, uh, but also to questioning specific stuff. But ultimately, again, earlier today, like I said, roughly 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 hours ago, um, Filoni he did an interview with, I want to say, Vanity Fair, if I believe I remember correctly, where he talked about. I'm just diving into it now because, like I said, I'm definitely over an hour late, and yeah, it's getting a little bit later in my night. So, but Filoni did do this interview, and he is now the CCO of Star Wars, of full on creative control. He's literally, I want to believe he's literally like right underneath Kathleen Kennedy, like right underneath, right? Um, so needless to say, if basically saying, like, if you watch wrestling, if you're fans of the WWE, then you would say, like, well, I wouldn't say that he's right under, but per his position, he would be Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, and he would have full control, creative control over, the content, movies, films, and all of that. He has top say, but at the same time, he would still more than likely go to Kathleen Kennedy and say, "Hey, these are the ideas, these are the concepts, this is blah blah blah. This is what my team has. What do you say?" But I would want to believe and say that she would still say, sounds good, it sounds great, doesn't sound good, doesn't sound great, but I'm, holding you to, the position to, you know, basically trust you in your judgment. Um, so yeah, we're gonna dive into this article here. Let's pull it up. And I'm gonna remove myself from the camera. Well, I can probably not remove, but I can. Oh, wrong one. There we are. I can nudge myself over. Oh, shoot. It's my fault. Wasn't even paying attention to the timer. Still sitting there. But yeah, this is what it says. I guess I gotta move myself just a smidge more. Or down. Let's do that. There we are. Kind of plop myself right next to Dave, right? Yeah. But the article says that Dave Filoni named Lucasfilm Chief Creative Officer, exploring possible second season of Ahsoka. There was, for sure, there was a rumor report. I want to say 2 weeks ago, if I remember correctly. I came across it, but I'm taking it with a grain of salt. Maybe 3 weeks ago, that season 2 of Ahsoka was confirmed to be happening. But per this interview, that doesn't sound like it's really confirmed. But yeah, this is what it says in the article. It says the Disney Star Wars series architect Dave Filoni has been named Chief Creative Officer of Lucasfilm. The new position means Filoni will have an even greater voice in the future of the galaxies that's far, far away. Filoni said in the sit-down that he's exploring a possible second season of Disney Plus live-action series Ahsoka, in which Rosario Dawson plays the grown version of Jedi Ahsoka Tano, who was a princess of Anakin Skywalker. He continues to hold his title of EVP, like I said, executive vice president. Okay, which he was raised in 2020. I thought it was 2021, but that's fine. Filoni weighs in on a narrative level while Kathleen Kennedy continues to lead Lucasfilm overall as president. So that's what I was talking about, where I was saying, like, you know, he has this new position, this new, you would say, all-inclusive control of creative, right? But he still answers to Kathleen. So, you know, yeah, there's that. And like I said, I came across this rumored report 2-3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks ago, something like that, about Ahsoka season 2 being greenlit. But as always, I'm taking a lot of stuff with a grain of salt unless, you know, it's really viable information. In which I will definitely just like share, you know, even rumored posts and stuff like that in the community tab. But, you know, with that, here during this interview, we see that, you know, Filoni saying, like, look, like, this is what I'm hopeful that will happen. And, you know, at the same time, I personally want a second season of the Ahsoka series, just to be honest, on top of Filoni's film that he's going to be directing over the next, you know, the movie itself is probably going to come out in the next, roughly, probably 2026. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe 2025. We'll see what happens. Now that the strike's over, too. But then it goes on to say that this portion here just talks about he's actually born and raised where I'm from. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania myself, so he's a Pennsylvanian as well, which is great. The Mount 11 PA native has been an EP on animated series Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Rebels, and live-action series The Mandalorian and Ahsoka, the latter live-action take on the cartoon Star Wars universe that Filoni built. He's set to direct his first feature live-action Star Wars movie, which will bring together all of the Disney plus sci-fi series storylines. Again, this is, as per the reports, is that, you know, he's looking to complete the Mandoverse in his you know, Heir to the Empire film. Like I said, which is more than likely going to come out in probably 2025, 2026, more than likely. And it goes on to say, in the past, in a lot of projects, I would be brought into it. Keyword, he would be brought into it. I would see it after, keyword, after it had already been developed a good ways. Filoni told Vanity Fair, yes. In this new role, this the CCO role now, it's opened up to basically everything that's going on. When we're planning the future of what we're doing now, I'm involved in the inception phase, and I love the fact that they use the inception phase, right? Um, I personally just can't wait for what he is going to be looking to do moving forward. Let me see. Yes, because he then goes on to say, because they do talk about the acolyte, talk about Andor and stuff like that, but then he then goes on to say in the final part of this article, he says, to truly help filmmakers, it was really important for me to experience it firsthand. Filoni said, I can also lend a perspective on the challenges that telling these stories will present. I feel more capable of actually being helpful outside of just saying, well, Jedi are like this and Sith are like that. So, like I said, key words were, he was being brought into something, after the fact, right? But he definitely, like it says, he says, when we're planning the future of what we're doing now, I'm involved at the inception phase. So, when you really truly look at the bigger, broader picture, I brought myself fully back up here, that at the end of the day, many people many Star Wars fans have been, backing Filoni for many, many moons now. And, we are now, for those of us, again, who are truly, supporters of him, are really excited for him. And at the same time, we will definitely, if we're really true to ourselves, per this fictional world, because again, it is still fictional, it's all fake, it's not real, but it still has a powerful effect, on our lives, right? But we will still be critical of his projects and his team's projects, stuff like that. It's totally fine to not like something and be critical, but still support them, because that there's always room for improvement, right? There's always room for growth, always room for humility, for, like I said, for criticism, to be able to continue to hone and work at your craft. And many people, over the many decades of life itself, have lived a life of where art was born, and it was constantly worked on until their last breath, right? And a lot of people met a specific place in their life where they practically perfected their craft, and then there are other people who just continue to work at it, like I said, until their last breath, where they got close enough, you know what I mean? And I feel like Mr. Filoni, he is an artsman when it's pertaining to Star Wars, when it's pertaining to the creative genius that he has in that specific mind of his. And I feel like he will continue to work at his craft and allow his team to do the same. And per this CCO position now, many of us have even more high hopes that he will indeed be able to bring some great things to Star Wars, the galaxy far, far away. Just within these next several years alone. But like I said, interesting question though is, say Kathleen does get taken, she steps down from her position. I personally feel like Dave should stay where he's at. That's just me. Just because it's kind of hard to bring somebody in that doesn't have experience, right? To take Dave and be like, you know what, Dave should be president. He doesn't have that experience. Not necessarily saying that because Kathleen Kennedy became president however many moons ago, right? That she didn't have experience and wasn't the right person. But I personally feel like, work at your, work where your strengths are. You've created this lane, you know, be there, because the grass isn't greener if you go somewhere else or do, we know that in this life that we live, there are definitely many possibilities to do greater and to do more. But again, the grass isn't always greener when you decide to go in a specific direction. Found out you didn't like it, and you have to go do something else, or maybe possibly return back to where it was more comfortable for you. So I personally feel like this is where Dave really allows his magic to flow and function, is in the creative spot, not in a presidential overseer of everything, outside of that creative spot. So, but that's just me personally. But if he were to go in that position and he did great. But I personally, like I said, I feel like Dave should just stay right in that creative section, where he's, I feel like he would be just more comfortable. But congrats to the homie, even though he doesn't know me and I'm rhyming accidentally. But I'm excited for the next several years of this decade, all the way through to 2030. Hopefully I'm still alive to, see where Star Wars goes, moving forward with Dave as a CCO. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. But that pretty much is the stream, because nobody's here. Because otherwise, if people were here, we would have more conversations, and the stream would probably last a little bit longer. But I'm going to be out. I'm going to look to do a greatness. Thank you for stopping through. How are you? Hope you're doing well today. I'm going to look to do a reading stream tomorrow, because I know I haven't done one in couple of weeks, I guess. Now I'm thinking about it, maybe 3 weeks. Like I said in the last stream, I needed a mental break. And I know the holiday is literally roughly less than 48 hours away, but I'm gonna definitely look to do a reading stream tomorrow. Probably afternoon, sometime. We'll see what happens. Gonna get back into Thrawn Ascendancy, Chaos Rising. We're gonna read, if I remember correctly, it was either Memories 3 or Chapter 3, one of the two. That's the plan at hand. But Will, thanks for stopping by, dude. I'm about to hit you up in a minute. But I'm out, because I'm gonna be going to bed in roughly half hour or so, because I need some sleep so I can be able to prepare for tomorrow, because I'm out the next 2 days. Excuse me. And I feel like Thursday's going to be a little bit more busier for me. But I'm out. Stay safe, stay humble. Congrats, Dave. Can't wait to see what's going to happen next. Like he said, season 2 Ahsoka, he's working on it. Again, like I said, the report, supposed rumor, a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, was that Ahsoka season 2 was green lit. That's not the case from what this article said, where Dave said he's working at trying to get a season 2. That lets me know, that confirms for me that there's hope that there's a season 2, because I want a season 2. I personally want a season 2 of Ahsoka series, and I'm hopeful that will probably maybe transition into some other stuff outside of Ahsoka season 2, or just the series itself and the Heir to the Empire film. I'm hopeful that it will open some doors to some other things, simply because Dave has this position now where I feel like his creative juices in his brain can be able to really do some amazing things, which also too could possibly mean that we might get some new Thrawn stories, or even Thrawn spin-off stories from Mr. Timothy Zahn, because he's gone on record and said many times that he already has plenty of ideas for more ascendancy work. Not just Thrawn, but the ascendancy themselves and Eli Vanto. So the hope is this decade we will get some more books from Mr. Zahn to come. And I do have a video that I need to work on specifically when talking about that too. That I'm gonna look to do. It may not be this week. It's probably gonna be next week. But I have to actually go gain this information back that I had, or I came across. I gotta go find it. But once I do, then I'll get that video together. But I am gonna be working on this Thrawn. I will say I'm working on this Thrawn video. It's in my brain. I just gotta get it out of my thoughts, out of my brain, into video form. I'm gonna be working on this video. I don't know the length. It may be long, but again, it may be short. But it's something that I feel like we can discuss and talk about. And I want to hear your all thoughts. Yo, Will, I just seen your comment. Everybody say no to Reese cups, please. Reese cups are trash. Chocolate and peanut butter doesn't go together. But yeah, I'm gonna look to do that video in the next roughly 2 weeks at best. If I can get it done earlier than that, that'd be great. But I don't think it's gonna be this week. I'll at least get a lot of what's on my mind out. And you're welcome. And get ready to do this video. So like I said, it may not be long, but then again, it might be. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm out. I'll holler at y'all later. Stay safe, stay humble, and remember, the Force